Hey, Drew, you killed this shit.
Yes, y'all. You know what it is. Yes, you are tuned in to another exclusive Four Corner Boy production as we continue to just, have this relationship between RCR Redemption Championship Rasslin and in the Four Corners of Wrestling just continues to grow. Like I said, another exclusive interview because your host, Wildcard Mar, I am here. I am here with the first ever RCR TV champion, inaugural TV champion. Nobody else in history can ever say that they have done what this man has done, because it'll be a lie. It'll be a total lie. The first ever RCR TV champion, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Sinnick.
Yeah, Mar, thank you so much.
No doubt. Hey, first RCR TV champion. Let's start right there. How does it feel to be the first ever? As in, nobody else can take that claim but you, Sinnick.
It feels phenomenal. And it happened just a couple of days before my birthday. So
nice.
I had to earn my birthday present.
Well, happy belated birthday, of course. And for those who are not in the loop and not paying attention, make sure you go follow RCR at all their social media platforms. I have it posted in the interview. Trust me, you'll see it. And go back to October 14th. Ghosts, Goblins, and Booze. Very intriguing name, even though Dangerous E. Corey Edsel proposed a different name. We could have went with that, but, Jimmy went with that. October 14th, the day that you became TV champ. So for those who don't know, man, Sinnick, you had a long road to get there, man. You had to go through a whole TV tournament to be crowned the first ever TV champ, man. So you defeated Boss Man Aaron Jones. So tell us about that matchup and how great of a matchup that was.
Right off the bat, Mar, it got personal. The bat, this man brought up the history that I'm a recovering alcoholic. Brewery. We're in front of my family, and he told me that after he beats me, that I should go over there and have a drink at the bar by myself. Wow.
Made it personal.
First thing I did was light him up with a spinning back fist.
Hey, boss man Aaron Jones, I think you learned your lesson. So after defeating him, then you had to defeat a wild man, Zach Daniels. Another challenge ahead of you. Tell us about that.
That is the second time I've ever gotten in the ring with Zach, and we've known each other for probably going on 9 years. So we have been, we've been on the same shows, everything like that. Then that first time, it was the hardest I've ever worked in a match, quite possibly. I was sweating bullets. And we go into it a second time, and by no means was that an easy victory. Both times, I managed to get both guys' shoulders down for a 3 count, just kind of skin of my teeth.
Yeah. Hey, it don't need to be a wide margin of victory. It just needs to be a victory. That's all that matters. So, hey, yeah, right. And then last but not least, you defeated ASAP, ASAP, to become the first ever RCR TV champion. So tell us about that matchup with ASAP.
Man, it feels like so much history with still not knowing each other that well, which is a crazy thing to say, I feel like. But with me and ASAP, it goes all the way down, boiling to I knew his father. And I won my first ever championship from his father in another company. Now that man went ahead and spit in his own father's face and turned on him. Yeah. To join Iron Enterprises. So I wanted nothing more than to get my hands on him once again after our first ever event, an inauguration, we were in the brawl. We beat the living hell out of each other, Mar. Oh my God, garbage cans, doors. It didn't stop there. I think there was a tire iron in there at one point.
Oh, damn.
It got very physical. So when we got into this match, I nearly broke my hand. I set him up against the post, cocked back my fist, and I just wanted to meet face. I did not meet face. I met post, and I finished the rest of the match like that with my hand. I had to put it on ice. It was a very emotional moment when it all came down, and the referee raised my hand. It almost still didn't feel real. It just felt like, how did I get through all this? I'm still I'm waking up, I'm kind of waking up from all of the adrenaline rush.
Yeah. It sounds like a very surreal moment when you had to go through so many challenges through three men, and all presented you with a very different I guess emotional taxing type of match that you had to endure. Is that fair to say?
Oh, that's very fair to say.
Yeah, I dig it. So give us the viewers, the watchers, the listeners. Give us a background of Sinnick, of how did Sinnick start, and how did Sinnick become the first ever RCR TV champion? Kind of take you through your journey, my brother.
And it's like everything really just links together one way or another. And taxing was such a great word on that. There was a lot of tax on my ass when I finally finished that last event. Sinnick really, it's like an evolution. Every wrestling character kind of is an evolution, ain't it? The Undertaker starts out as Mean Mark, and then Chris Jericho, all these guys, they all start. For me, it kind of started with friends in the backyard under a different name, and it becomes the disease of that person, which was really just like a fight with the demons of alcoholism and addiction, because it became such a big part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
You take those big parts of your life, you put it into your wrestling, and you level it up to 11. And when I first started training, I had to figure out a name, and there's just so much sin that I went through in my life, and then there's the whole cynical like twist to it, like the pun, whatever you'd want to call it.
Yeah, play on word. Yeah,
play on words. Thank you. It all just everything just kind of fell into place as I continued that journey, because when I was doing that stuff in the yard, I was having fun. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't, I wasn't professionally trained.
Yeah.
When I was able to really grasp a lot of things, and I'm still learning. Like, I'm learning every single day. By no means do I think like, I'm this level of professional wrestler. I have so far to go.
Yeah.
But along that way, I just continue to try to evolve this and make it better.
Yeah.
And that's really like, the whole Sinnick character, it's not finished. So like, I'm still building on top of it.
That's dope. And as a wrestling fan, I think it's dope to see people become champions, and I think it's kind of fair to say that you probably haven't even reached your peak or your pinnacle of what Sinnick can actually be. And for you to be a champion at this point in your career, that kind of speaks volumes, man. That shows you that you're doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
When you win a championship, it doesn't matter the fact that I had to wrestle 3 matches that night. The work starts now. The target on my back is just starting to develop right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I have to fight to keep it, because other than what am I? I'm the guy that got lucky and won a championship one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy to be a quick one-hit wonder. Yeah, I did all that work to get to the championship, but I couldn't defend it. So,
baby.
Things like that kind of sucks for any and everybody in any kind of competitive arena. But speaking of that, let me ask you that. So, you're about to hit a journey where you're about to defend the championship instead of trying to get the championship. What's your mindset like when you gotta hit, flip that switch instead of becoming the hunter, and now you're the hunted, man? So, kind of take me through that mental journey that you got going on.
It's more than flipping one switch because the man that I'm going to be standing across from is a very good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Friend of me, friend of my family.
Yeah.
But if I mistake that friendship and mix it up with competition, then I might as well just give him the belt.
Mm.
He ecstatic.
Yeah.
He and ecstatic go back a long way. Just like a lot of these guys, to be honest with you. I want to go out there and I want to have fun. I want us to both put everything on the line, hit our best stuff, and make magic, make a great match. But don't get it twisted, because what I really want at the end is to hold that belt up again.
Oh, of course.
That high.
Yeah.
You want to keep chasing that high, because that high leaves your body the minute that the other guy walks away with the belt.
Man, that's some profound stuff you said right there, and it's almost and speaking of highs and things like that, you kind of mentioned how you had certain substance abuse things. So and not to get too deep, but kind of give us peel that curtain back on finding a way to get past that and still find a way to perform as being a performer at your peak. So kind of take the viewers and listeners just showing just your real self as in another person that has to deal with obstacles, man. So kind of take us through that journey, man.
Yeah, man, there's no way that I can talk about how I got past that without talking about where I've been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm way happier on where I am now by far. I have been at one time in a homeless shelter. I've been through several rehabs. I have had I've burned bridges, had family just straight up give up on me and think he's never going to change. And I had a baby boy named Jackson, and a lot of things, they just weren't clicking, had put time together to get away from that stuff. Just, I wasn't able to drink like other people. I wasn't able to have a few and chill out. I felt like I drank to get arrested, man. And, some other substances along the way, but it all started with picking up that bottle.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of times where I've gotten into matches and there was a guy who went ahead and used that against me. So when Aaron did it in that match, the first guy who did it, he shook me. The second guy who did it, he stirred me up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
After so many times, you're just like,
yeah,
I've been through this before. I'm not falling for it. Bang, you're done.
Yeah, it almost becomes fuel to get that victory.
Yeah.
It almost becomes, hey, you can't use that against me as a weapon against me anymore because I'm so much stronger. And I love to hear stories like that, Sinnick, just because it gives everybody something to look at when you're down in the dumps, because we're all human. We all deal with our own, I'll say we all deal with our own shit. All right. Mm-hmm. And it's good to hear that, now look at you now being the first ever RCR champion. It gives us hope that, hey, dark clouds only are temporarily. What Scott Hall say, bad times don't last, bad guys do. So
So you see, it's like I didn't have. Okay, how do I put this? Think about wrestling when you're climbing a ladder, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you climb in a step stool, there ain't that far to fall from. I didn't have that much. So I didn't mind giving all those things up, whatever they might have been. when I built myself to such a place that I could lose all of this, you know, like when I had my son, he's my world, my 5-year-old. You'll see if you watch some of the matches I've had, he'll come out with me in my entrance. That boy is my freaking heart. And now I got another one. And he's 9 months. I've got a loving wife. I've got the greatest friends. I've got such a support system that will kick the ever-loving shit out of me if I ever pick something up again.
Yeah.
So not only would I mess up my life, but I'd get an ass whooping in the process.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure a wifey would be quick to drop the elbow on you, my brother. So let me ask you that.
And be like,
oh, yeah. So let me ask you this. Now, obviously, you know, through your journey, you've been without family, sons and wife, and now you got that. So tell me how important it is to have that support system, and as well as, you know, being supporting you, you know, while you're going through this journey of being, you know, trying to become, you know, possibly one of the best independent wrestlers on the planet Earth. So kind of take us through that.
That is such a deep question. I don't even know where to begin with that, but I do know that having all these people that care about me so much, they make me feel like failing's not an option. They make me feel like as long as I continue to do the right thing, I could do anything, because it's that trust fall, knowing that somebody's always going to catch you. But first thing I got to do is I got to do it all for me. If I'm not doing it for me, then, you know, I'm no good to them. True.
That's a big step for sure. Speaking of trust, you know, trust to Valhalla at the next event that will be taking place November 4th, 2023, down in Mount Holly, North Carolina. I'm pretty familiar with Mount Holly, North Carolina. I spent about 18 years in Charlotte, so I'm pretty familiar with Mount Holly. Take us through getting ready for Ecstatic. You kind of touched on it earlier. You known Ecstatic for a while, but take us to you know, preparing for someone like Ecstatic.
Well, to start out, my cardio has to be up there, man. I live and die, and trust me, when I say die, I feel like I'm gonna fall over, by the Stairmaster. That thing when you're going up the steps, 65 minutes on that thing, as high as the level as I could possibly stand it, just pouring sweat. But at the same time, when it comes to a clash of styles, I know where I got him as well. I know that I could pick Ecstatic up and I could throw him around because I've done it before. I know that if my cardio's on point and I can catch him, then I can stop him. And if I could stop him, I could finish him. There's a plan there. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Hey, I don't know about you. You know, whoever's listening, I felt that. I felt that. I'm not real. I felt that. I mean, just the way that you dropped that whole plan, I'm like, oh, I'm ready to see this match now. I'm ready to see it.
That's what I want. I want people to be invested in me and what I'm doing next every single time.
No doubt.
RCR cards in my wallet. If I'm walking past somebody, I just right across the street from the hotel that I'm in right now, I gave a waitress an RCR card and said, check us out.
Yeah. That's how you build it, man. That's how you build it. Speaking of RCR, obviously I've spoken with, you know, Dangerous E, you know, the champ, the American RCR champ. I didn't talk with Moses Ireton, and of course, founder and owner Jimmy, a great guy. Tell us about, you know, kind of take us and about the, you know, people who are helping behind the scenes. Of course, Jimmy, other wrestlers. Tell us how great it is to be a part of RCR right now.
Well, if you don't mind, first thing what I'm going to do, as you mentioned all those people you talked about, I'm going to put you over for a second.
Okay.
Because I watched every single one of those interviews. I watched your interview with Moses, Jimmy, Corey. I'm going to be real with you, and whoever wants to get offended could go ahead and get upset. But when you're watching a podcast, you might put it on for 5 minutes. If it's not about you or something that you are so invested in, you put it on for 5 minutes and you turn it off, or you fast forward and you try to find the good part.
Mm-hmm.
When you engage me, I don't know what it is, but I watched each and every one of them from start to finish, and it didn't feel like a chore.
Man, I appreciate that, man. For real. I don't think you understand what that means, Sinnick, just because what we're doing here in the Four Corners of Wrestling, 613 Faye Productions, as a whole podcast entertainment company, IOW Sports Network, which I always do. Man, that means a lot. That means that we're doing something right. So trust me, I don't care if I ever make it. Well, hopefully I do make Pat McAfee level with podcasts, but if I never do, just the satisfaction of hearing yourself and other people say that they enjoy the content that myself and my co-partners do, man, trust me, that means a lot. I really thank you for that.
Absolutely. And when you say Faye Productions, are you out in Fayetteville?
No, it's 613 Faye Productions is my partner, Mike. He named it after his grandmother, and the 613 part is her birthday. So it's very sentimental for him, and I'm just glad to be a part of it, to put honor to 613 Faye. But I am familiar with Fayetteville. I am familiar with Fayetteville, Vietnam. For those who are local to Fayetteville, they'll call it that. So yes. Hey, I spent 18 years in North Carolina, man. It's probably not a piece of North Carolina that I haven't touched. So
I love that though. I love symbolic. I love things that mean something to you and doing it that kind of way.
Yeah.
The sentiment, all that. But I'm not going to escape from your question. We're going to talk about the roster a little bit and some behind the scenes, right?
Yeah. Just kind of take us to how great it is to work with some of these people here in RCR, man.
It's phenomenal, and one of the biggest compliments that we get from behind the scenes is how amazing the locker room is. Because if you're listening to this and you are an independent wrestler, you know that there are a lot of unfriendly locker rooms. There are places you can't wait to get out of, and you're left with a bad taste in your mouth. Everyone just loved each other's company, man. The good guys stay with the good guys, the bad guys stay with the bad guys, but everybody was real comfortable and having a good time. I would like to shed some light on my wife, though, who doesn't get nearly enough credit.
Smart man.
I'm trying to live.
Smart man. No, Sinnick, you a smart man. You give credit when credit's supposed to do, because you don't want to ruffle no feathers. Smart man. Go ahead.
Well, no matter how big and bad these wrestlers are, most of them fear my wife. She keeps a lot of us in line. One thing that she does is organization. However you want to say it. I'm from New York. We say it a little bit different.
Yeah.
But, she books the venues. So when we got into the Cavendish Brewery, when we got into the Legion Hall in Lenore, that's all my wife. And her sitting down and meeting with people and just being so great at being organized and always having that right answer quick. Because when someone's going, and they're kind of unsure of themselves, you're unsure of them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, paperwork, when it comes to not knowing what I'm going to say at a job interview, things like that, she's always my go-to. And all that kind of stuff really plays out at RCR, where she is such a vital part. She's the backbone that keeps us up. Mm-hmm. If nobody else wants to say, damn well I'm going to say it.
Hey, matter of fact, you should be the cheerleader. Yeah. Hey, to throw the pom-poms up, the signs, all of it. You know, you got to make sure. If nobody says it, you, of all people, make sure you got to be the one to say,
Ooh,
yeah. Oh, yeah, because the cream always rises to the top, you know. So you always got to be the one to make sure that wifey gets the credit is due. And I love it, man. So, before we get out of here, man, you know, as great as the RCR locker room is and the people behind the scenes are, you still got to fight. So, November 4th, Ecstatic. Go ahead, give some of your few final words to Ecstatic leading up to that matchup at Trosh to Valhalla. Go ahead.
a year ago, I probably would have said, let the best man win. But what I'm going to say now is let the more prepared man win. I am not going to let that not be me. I'm going to do everything in my power to just have you be the first part of one of my title defenses that I plan to do many of them. I plan to be a fighting champion. And sorry, Ecstatic, but after you, bro, I can't wait to see who's next.
Ooh. Hey, if there's one thing I love some confidence. And Sinnick, hey, sound like you confident. Hey, I love you. I love you, Ecstatic, but business is business. I got
Wallace
you.
Lamar, man, who gets it?
I got you, dog. Hey, friendships, hey, we love them. Relationships, we love to build them, but business is business, man. It's never personal. Hey, I get it. Hey, man, Sinnick, man, this has been fantastic. Before we get up out of here, if there's any social media platforms or anything that you want to plug so that the people can make sure that they are always keeping their eyes focused on Sinnick, go ahead, man.
I feel like we've done a whole lot of promoting for Redemption Championship Rasslin. Got to make sure we get that wrestling.
That wrestling part. That wrestling.
Everybody's got the W in their name. We like to be different, but you can follow me on Instagram, which is what I feel like is one of the most vital things right now for social media and checking out wrestling. X Sinnick X. And I've actually got the logo sticker on the back of my van now. I'm driving around trying to get people to follow me. One thing that I recently got set up was a pro wrestling tees store. So you could actually get yourself a Sinnick shirt. Just go to prowrestlingtees.com, type in Sinnick, and I'll pop right up. And I don't know what you call it anymore, Twitter, X, but I'm under Disease Vessel.
I call it Twitter. I can't get with the X part because I feel some type of way because I don't want to disrespect DMX. So I call it Twitter. So
actually, one of my son's first songs that he ever really like jammed to and learned the words to was "Party Up."
I love that. If there's any way that you can ever get that on film, please share because I think that'll be dope to see.
This has been so fun, man.
That's dope. That's dope. But hey, man, there you guys, there you have it. The RCR first ever, because I got to make sure we put that in there. The first ever RCR TV champ right there, Sinnick. And you know who I am, Wildcard Mar. I'm doing this on behalf of my brothers of In the Four Corners of Wrestling. Throw them fours up, throw them quads down. You already know what it is. Quabo, Jemell, and of course, Jay Will. And shouts out to all of 613 Faye Productions. Please go on over to the YouTube channel. Check out all the content. Hey, you never know when we'll do another exclusive interview with RCR Redemption Championship Rasslin. Hey, man, this is another one, another exclusive. I hope y'all enjoy it. But on behalf of the first ever RCR TV champ Sinnick, Wildcard Mar, we out. God bless. It's been another great fun one. Y'all take care.
Drew, you killed this shit.